this ambitious side of that you have inside of you, the longing for change, the motivation to go and take action, but you struggle to. You struggle to take real action into putting this ambitious version of you into action. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to reinvent your life in 21 days. And how we do this, it's simple, but I want to take you back to 2023 in January. I set myself a New Year's resolution. I'd heard about this positive habit that would help you in decision making because I was looking for like businesses to start. I wanted to make money. I wanted to get consistent in the gym. And I got this idea to start by practicing decision making and trying to become as present as possible, because the first principle of making a decision is awareness. If you're aware of all the choices that you can have and what impact they will have, you will be so much more likely to make the right decision. I decided to start meditating. Meditation is quite simple, but it can be a little bit hard to understand. It is where you focus on your breathing pattern to the best of your ability. For example, you can feel the feet of where you're sitting. Just feel them. Try to feel every single one of these sensations of them. Feel if they're warm or cold. Then I want you to just shift your focus to the breath. Feel like just this little part of you. And you will soon begin to realize that your mind is wandering. You will have a thought. For example, you will be starting to imagine something happening after this. What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear for school tomorrow, for example? Your task is simple. You just bring yourself back into the breath. Then I have continued to be on this path to trying to improve myself. And this summer I invented something called the zero theory. It kind of like came up because I didn't really feel so well. I felt a bit anxious, I felt a bit negative, I didn't really enjoy life that much. I wanted to create purpose, but I didn't know how. And so I set myself a new adventure to try and find my life's calling right now. What do I want to take my life in? What direction do I want to take my life in? So I decided to start this thing called the zero theory. The zero theory is simple. The baseline of everything is awareness. The more you can be present and the more you can observe your thoughts, the more you will elevate all of the other aspects of your life. Your decision making will be improved. Your ability to speak to people will be improved. Because when you're able to focus on something without your mind just starting this chit-chatting all of the time, your life will inevitably change forever. And since this point, all of the external results have improved once I've detached myself from the actual result itself, but I've more been focused on the internal. When I started my history YouTube channel like 2 years ago, I think it is. It's a little bit more than that, 2.5 years ago. I'd meditated, this was actually in February of 2023. I'd meditated for around, I think it was like 45 times in a month. And when I started that YouTube channel, I gained momentum pretty fast, but I think it was because the positive actions had accumulated into something that gave me momentum and gave me real life results. This is why I preach making progress on these so-called untangible things, because the people who've actually made it inside of their sport, inside of their craft, many people talk about mindset, many people talk about discipline. This is how you improve your mindset, because meditation specifically has had such a positive impact on my life that it has helped me through the worst times. Also, breathwork is one of the most important things here. And by the way, I have a free community where I discuss this even in more depth. If you want to join, I would be so happy if you would. Link is in the link is in the description. Furthermore, breathwork. Breathwork is kind of like an intensified meditation. When you have so many thoughts that are just popping up, you can't seem to focus on the current reality. For example, when you've been scrolling and you've been stressed, that's the worst combination for me, at least, when my thoughts just are at hyper speed. And so how I'm able to cope with these things and be able to go through them and to persist It is by breath work. Here's a method that you can use. It's called the Wim Hof method. Just search it up on YouTube. Maybe go and have a look at the video. Also, I will be like having some breathwork methods inside of my community. But this is the thing. Breathwork takes away all of that chattering because it's so intense. It's kind of like intense exercise, but more for your mind. Imagine something like running extremely fast away from a dangerous situation. It puts you in fight or flight mode. But when it comes to breath work, you're in a controlled circumstance. You're just sitting here. Nothing really dangerous can happen. But it kind of like calms the nerves that you feel inside of you. This is what is waiting for you in the next 21 days. If you just stick to the 1 second rule. The 1 second rule is simple. If you do one of these things for 1 second, you get to check the box. You get to say that you've done it today. And track it by writing it down on a piece of paper using a habit tracker. Or you can use like a meditation app or whatever. I personally just use Medito to track like how many times I've meditated and everything. I actually watched this app. I think just inside of the app I've got like 60 hours of meditation, and then I have more, of course, because I don't count everything inside of the app and everything, but it's not really about the amount. It's more about the person you become as you follow through on this journey. And you know, being fine with not having it all figured out and realizing that once you do the stuff that is boring and that is a bit invisible right now, that's the pinpointing of what is going to make you the person you want to be. Because, yeah, meditation in and of itself is probably not going to change your life today or tomorrow. But if you do it consistently, you will have improved decision making, and then you will think clearer, because when you're in school and when you get asked a question, you're able to articulate your thoughts because somebody is asking you, and you're able to kind of like reclaim all of your energy. You will realize this once you've been consistent enough. If you want to do the YouTube algorithm things like subscribing, I would highly appreciate that, as I'm trying to gather up as many people as possible on this path. And if you have any feedback, just leave that in the comments, and I really appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.